Tena asante sana mpenzi mtazamaji kwa kuendelea kutazama runinga ya Luka. Vile kuna mipangilio ya orodha ya masuala ambayo tungependa kuiangazia hapa ugani kwenye viwanda vya runinga hii, na vile pia kwenye miswada ama mustakabali wa masuala ambayo yanachipuka hapa nchini Kenya. Kumekuwepo na masuala ya kuangaziwa, mojawapo ikiwa ni usaidizi wa kigeni ambao ni USAID, and of course in the next few minutes tutakuwa tunaziangazia kwa undani kuhusiana na masuala hayo na dhabiti zaidi. Kama ni mara yako kwanza kuweza kujumuika nasi, ninakukumbusha tu kwamba tuko kwenye mitandao ya kijamii YouTube na Facebook, na pia kwenye tovuti yetu www.lookuptv.co.ke. Allow me to read this. Sudan has become a case study for the impact of USAID cuts, aid workers say. Now, humanitarians in Sudan, where a 2-year civil war has given rise to the world's most acute needs and made assistance increasingly difficult, warn that a vacuum left by cuts to US funding for aid program cannot be filled. Kwa masuala hayo pia kuna baadhi ya mataifa ikiwemo taifa la Kenya limekumbwa na changamoto hiyo ya ufadhili ama usaidizi wa kigeni. Ili kuweza kupata ufahamu zaidi, mpenzi mtazamaji, nitazungumza na wageni wangu wawili hapa angalau tuweze kupata mswada kamili kuhusiana na taswira halisi ama mustakabali wa usaidizi wa kigeni. Jina langu ni Moses Sketch na hii ni Bunge La Wenyeji. Ningependa tuweze kuanza nawe kwa kujitambulisha. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Yvonne Mukul, a director Giving Light to Society and also co-founder at Baobab Growth Center.
Indeed.
It is a community-based organization based here in Kenya, and we are really much more into development and also ensuring that the society is at par with whatever is happening in outside the world.
All right, nice to have you on Bunge La Wenyeji. Sijui kama unajua Kiswahili.
Nakifahamu.
All right, at some of the points of course we'll request you to adapt to Swahili a little bit for the understanding of the Mwenyeji as well.
Ni kweli.
All right, karibu sana kiongozi, please introduce yourself.
Asante sana. Kwa majina naitwa Kiplimo Jeff. I work with Africa Youth Leadership Forum, also with Palava Groove, and also importantly with Books and Trunks. Also partnering with Students for Liberty to liberate the mind, the hearts and the souls, and also to liberate the economy. So whatever we advance for is on the light of us working together to be fully sustainable. So whenever we talk about USAID and funding in Kenya, we'd want also to detach ourselves from any sort of funding and just work in the country.
And it's a good thing that Plimo, you mentioned something about liberation and of course sustainability. Of course, first things first, let's start with you. When we are embracing USAID, and of course there are many other helping hands out there, organizations that are coming in handy to really support other countries to initiate change for better tomorrow, what will be your view on this withdrawal?
My view on this withdrawal? It's a blessing in disguise. Usually when you look at it, when a country is fully dependent, or most of the things are fully dependent on aid or kusaidiwa kila wakati, when we look at key sectors like health, like agriculture, that are the driving force of the nation, even education, those are key institutions that need to be fully independent and resourced by the country. So whenever we see ourselves as every resource that we get are from depending from either USAID, mostly when we talk about that, because I remember when I was growing up looking at the back of the books, they were most of the time written USAID. It really stuck in my head that we are relying on the Americans to work on that. So it also influence in what we study and what we understand as a country. So even us as a unit, we might not be teaching ourselves the values that we want.
Okay.
So they usually say he who pays the piper plays the tune or calls the tune. So if I give you money to fund for your education, there are a few key things that I'd want you to look into or to work on, and probably you wouldn't have much of the say on some key issues.
Kwa hivyo unaona kwamba haina haja tuweze kuwa na usaidizi?
On key sectors, not really. Not really.
Right.
For example, when we talk about now other sectors like manufacturing, that are plus, on the plus, manufacturing, distribution, and the entire supply chain. Once we have produced our products, how do we get it out of the market? Now, that one you can a bit compromise. Because once umeshiba na uko nyumbani, now getting your surplus to the market, now that's an additional factor. So that kind of area is where we can say, okay, we look for funding. But on the key sectors, I really believe that we should be self-reliant and self-dependable.
All right. I understand, of course, the organizations, and of course this withdrawal might affect different organizations in one way or the other. Your view or your perception on this withdrawal, do you think it's a wake-up call, as he says, blessings in disguise, but I think also it's a wake-up call to so many nations that have been affected?
Definitely it is, because we cannot continue purporting to say that you are independent, and you find that in most of our sectors that are very key, we are always depending on aid. And when you look at our national budget, there is already budget that has been allocated.
Indeed.
How can we ensure that we are working in the means of the budget that we have been allocated? I remember when my mother tells me that when you stretch your hand, whatever you are touching, that's yours. The moment you stretch ahead, now that's not yours, meaning that you'll have to suffer the repercussions for that. So it's really important that us as organizations, we look for sustainable means to ensure that instead of always depending on aid, what else can we do? For example, probably because you know that our economy, it's somehow haiko sawa vile. The time that umepata zile pesa fulani za maybe that aid ya kuanzisha kitu, that one year pilot, after that 1 year pilot, you have to probably show that after this 1 year, even though nitafanya ndio nipate pesa fulani. For example, in one of our projects that we are doing, it's how can we ensure that when you're telling youths tunawapea skills development na economic empowerment, after umeshawapea pesa, si wataenda na pesa zenyewe zitaisha. How can we ensure that this money it's recurring, inazaana mazao, alafu sasa inafika ile point fulani, hawa mayouth sasa hatutakuwa tukiwapea pesa. Now they have become sustainable. So it's really important for us to think about sustainability, long-term goals other than the short-term goals.
Kwa kuweza kupata uwezekano wa the fact that we are embracing sustainability, do you think we'll get to that point?
Definitely we will, because just to ask, why don't we trust ourselves as Kenyans that we have the minds, we have those ideas to do great things? Because you usually see in Kenya we have a lot of hackathons. And who are running these hackathons? They are the people from outside countries, and when they come here, they listen to the ideas that you're having, then they take them outside. They're going to implement them. These are our own ideas. Why don't the government, or because you know most of the times people are always saying like, why are we calling always the government? Because it is the key development sector. It is the one that is governing everything. So if the political will is okay, meaning that everything will be running smoothly.
Indeed.
If the government now takes the initiative, when these youths, they have in these projects, they have these innovations, they rise them up. Companies, industries, when we uphold that, I'm sure that we're going to reach sustainability. Instead of when we are seeing people outside in Nairobi town begging, always begging for money, and you see that youths are always begging for money, when probably in uko ushago, kama uncle fulani amekuja mwenye gari, atakuja hoshe gari ndo anajua atamwachia kitu. Lakini kuna ile ya hata umuoshe gari, hata ufanye kitu chochote, na bado utaomba mkono, utakuwa ukiomba mkono mtupu lambo. Ni kweli.
All right, asante sana. And of course, even as we embrace that, many people are perturbed with the situation happening right in the Republic. And of course, even as we embrace that, the USAID, that is the United States Agency for International Development, has a significant presence and a long history of development work right in the Republic. And when we're embracing the fact that there is a focus in Kenya on various sectors like health, for instance, we having the inclusive economic growth and democracy and governance. But before we get to that, why do you think so many people are perturbed with the situation? There is so much confusion as far as sasa itakuwa namna gani? How will we make sense towards this? Sasa wametoka. What is the outcome? Will we survive? And if you look at the situation right in the Republic, there's so many problems, including the economic problems. Then therefore, these withdrawals, you know, they might lead also to other withdrawals as well. You know, there was a time that we were saying that the country right here in the Republic, hatuna sasa mpangilio wa investment. So many investors are turning their backs on Kenya. If you look at that, what is really the confusion towards achieving a sustainable environment for us to make a clear understanding on our support system as far as foreign aid is concerned?
Yeah, so number one, on 4th of July, the Americans were celebrating Declaration of Independence. It was that, and our PS was celebrating with them. And I hope they discussed some of those
amazing
things.
I believe.
So whenever we talk about the factors and how what really comes about this, so there are a few things in mind, and I think number one, I'd like to shift the focus on 3 countries in Africa. Number one, it's Botswana. Number 2 is Seychelles, and number 3 is Mauritius. Botswana, foundationally, some of its wealth or some of its stability comes from the mining of diamonds, which is good. Mauritius and Seychelles highly depend on tourism, which is good. But institutionally, when we look at all these 3 countries, there are specific things that they usually work on. And that's number one, the respect of rule of law, and how number 2 is their financial sector and how they really respect that. And number 3 is the structure of governance and how it operates. So whenever you see much resources in a country, then it comes with a need of governance, proper governance. And that's where the rubber meets the road. So much of the times you hear that people say Kenya has really a lot of resources. People asking, oh, we mine diamond, we mine gold, we mine all these other wonderful minerals that are used in the, what do we call, Silicon Valley, yes, and to manufacture much of the technologies. But the results aren't seen in Kenya. So there are many loopholes, mahali pesa inaingilia. And that's where now we find ourselves in a point of deficiency. So we lack because the resources that are brought aren't utilized fully. So even when we talk about foreign aid, how much of it is fully utilized? Because sometimes you hear that Kenya has received a grant, but the grant might not be fully utilized at a specific point in time. Then you'll hear that some funds have been channeled to another cause. How and where? Because there are so many questions when it comes to that.
All right.
So yeah.
So I believe one of the challenges, of course, is health as a key factor into elevating sustainability as well. And I understand if this withdrawal also will affect the health situation somehow in the needy countries as well. So USAID has been a major donor in Kenya's health sector. Sana hizi stories of malaria, child health support and nutrition as well. So USAID has supported the establishment of laboratories and community-based surveillance to enhance disease detection right in Kenya. So if this withdrawal itatoka, it means there's a position that will be affected more so. Sasa bado unajua tunaongelea story ya SHA na those things. So these donations would have at least supported in a way. What are some of the challenges that you feel we will endure when it comes to health consideration?
Ni kweli kutakuwa na a lot of kutakuwa na a lot of challenges ziko. Na the main question ni pesa ziko Kenya. Tunatoa taxes, lakini we want the accountability part of it. When this money comes, how are they utilizing this money? Because the same need of interconnectivity of every sector to ensure that, yes, as we are talking about health, it cannot stand alone itself. It has to, the intersectionality of all sectors. Let them work together so that we may have good results at the end. And most importantly, on the human resource. You cannot take someone who is from the department of, maybe who is, their profession is in teaching, and you give them a role in the health sector. We have to ensure that the government is giving credit to the right people. If it's the CS, let the CS be from the Department of Health. They know what it, like even when you are talking about the people are really suffering, they understand the stake about it. Everyone, all the people who are in the health sector, the leaders, let them be from the health department, so that you may not give other people who are not in that sector a chance to rule. And because when it comes to the decision making, they're the key decision makers. So you find that someone who is from teaching is making a decision for health. So it will be really contradicting. So let the government also do that to ensure that in as much as there is the money that is there, so that they may know how to utilize the money that is there in the right way. If aid will come, let the aid come and find us we're already propelling. Let it not be like, I'm going to give you money so that now you start making this seat. What can you do so that you start making this seat? Go get some few mbao, ujenge tu kitu. At least hata nikikuona umejenga kitu, naona uko na maono fulani ya kufanya kitu fulani. Instead of unaniambia nikupe pesa ndo ujenge. Sasa hiyo nayo itakuwa tatizo kubwa
kabisa. All right.
I think just to add on what she said, kuna vitu zimeathirika ama zimeathiriwa after the foreign aid has been removed. Currently, in the situation in the country, whenever we look at the key things that were being facilitated when you talk about health by majorly the USAID. So, for example, HIV and AIDS, when we talk about the test kits and the medication, it's serious. So most of the people now depend on the government provision, which now it's under SHA, and SHA now has some bit of problem starting, and now it also affects the mwananchi seriously. So apart from that, when you talk about nutrition for children in the northern parts of Kenya, the drought-struck areas. So I do remember in the periods of, I wasn't born, it's in history, the periods of Moi, when there was a serious drought. How did they go about it? They largely depended on foreign aid, whereby most of the packages came, and you know, it entirely, now that's where the problem is.
All right. We
have put ourselves in a position where all these things, we cannot function without them. So you see, for example, whenever there is a crop surplus in Kinangop, the infrastructure of roads in Kinangop to the markets are bad. So not only Kinangop, when we talk about Narok and all these regions that produce crops, how are their road structures? Are they able to either store the food, transport, and do all these kind of things? So when we talk about nutrition, for the children and for the families and for the people living in the northern part of the region in Kenya, highly dependent on foreign aid. I can shed some light on refugee camps in, for example, Kakuma, the individuals who came to Kenya from South Sudan and Somalia. Them, as much as they are, they work under the structure of UNHCR, they also depend on a bit of foreign aid that is supported by the Kenyan government. So when we look at that, at a point in time where droughts are serious, whenever it rains, floods are serious, the problems aren't really looked at, and it becomes an issue. So as much as they depend on that, how also do they transition back to so it's a recurring cycle of aid to aid, day after day. So
after an alignment and understanding that the US President, of course, Trump, will we later on have the discussion that now we have the feedback, like you said, now creates an alignment plus their government to make sure that the stabilization still continues, the roll down, the assistance, the donation still continues. Ama hiyo tuchore?
Ningependa tuchore. But it will help. It will help. In a position and time where now the first thing, if you do remember, when aid was removed from Kenya, the first thing that people came out to say was people have lost jobs. No one focused on the long-term repercussions of what it will take. No one gave out the numbers. What have people been working on?
All right.
Yes.
So hold it there.
Yeah.
When we come, of course, we'll be able to understand the establishment on the challenges that are coming with it, including the program termination. Then there's funding cuts as well, and of course, transition to self-reliance of what you're mentioning right now. Upendi sawa. So don't go too far. Unatazama runinga ya Look Up, na hii ni maonyesho ya Bunge La Wenyeji. Karibu tena. Mazungumzo yanaendelea hapa kwenye awamu ya Bunge La Wenyeji. Dakika 25 zimekatika na zingine zaidi 25 zitaendeleza na mazungumzo haya ya Bunge La Wenyeji. Fadhili ama usaidizi wa kigeni ambao umekuwa ukisaidia wengi sana hapa nchini Kenya na vile pia mataifa mengine. So when we speak about some of the challenges that USAID is bringing about, we are having the self-reliance. You were finishing a point there when you're embracing the fact that it's a good thing that these cuts zitoke tu, because there's no need, of course, for them. We need now to adapt some of the reliances within and make sure that our efforts are just within. What will be your view on self-reliance as far as the USAID is concerned?
Yeah, so the point actually that I was finishing on, let's give this analogy, because we're talking about foreign aid with local organizations or NGOs that are working within the Kenyan boundaries. So just an example, I lend you money, then after some time when I come back for my money, you tell me, no, I haven't finished up what I was doing. Then you can give me a grace period.
Indeed.
Yes. And now you'll go ahead and explain to me what have you done with it. And I'm sure, according to the internal structures of all these organizations, getting funding sometimes requires a lot of scrutiny and a lot of write-ups and a lot of things. I don't overlook that. But what underscores that also is the intentions of it.
Indeed.
Ndio nilikuwa nakwambia kwamba wakati mara ya kwanza watu foreign aid ilitoka, kitu ya kwanza watu walisema serikali tusaidie, watu wamepoteza kazi, hatujui tutaenda wapi, hatujui tutafanya nini. If these organizations could have come up and just say, this is what will be affected, this is what will needs to be surplused, this is what we were working on, this is how the locals will be affected, at least it will be on a different light. People will have said or seen, or even the government will have seen, okay, even the government can surplus it for a period of, let's say, 6 months before now, things slow down, then seek funding from different other sectors. Now, that's where, when we talk about self-reliance, that's what we need to do. But when what we were doing under the foreign aid, under US aid, now you find that people really weren't paying key attention on what kind of impact they were making. Yes, I don't sideline the impact that they were making. They are significant impacts. But were they intentional? Were they on the long term? As much as you can say cases of HIV were reducing, for example, or as we were talking about children in the northern Kenya, their kind of nutrition were being held at a certain point. But for how long? How long will it have gone? Now, when if I can continue with how the country can just accord itself the wonderful privilege of liberty, or being self-reliant, or working on its own. There are a few things. Number one, it's understanding its resource, as she had mentioned. Resource of the people. And number two, it's the resource value. When we talk about GDP, gross domestic product, from either services or products that are produced, what do we have? And from that is working on top of that. And until we fully utilize, because I don't believe we fully utilize. The president can give subsidized fertilizers to all farmers. Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, the president can give subsidized fertilizers to much of the farmers. Okay, but if the fertilizers grow the crops and the crops aren't really reintegrated back into the or really utilized, then it will be a waste of resource.
All right.
So that and many more other sectors, if we don't look it at a keen eye, we'll be losing it more. So yeah. I also wanted to mention about PPP, public-private partnerships. Public institutions and private institutions working together, not on a selfish level, and that requires also a level of scrutiny from the institutions, from the judiciary and the finance sectors, to also look this thing at a very key area and fine-tune it in order for it to work.
Indeed.
Yes. So in all those ways that we can also leverage ourselves.
All right. I appreciate the fact that we are having this conversation, and you are allowing us to learn and understand the benefits and the challenges that are coming with it. So for the purposes of also a greater tomorrow, we are developing a structure, whereas when it comes now to aid or there is withdrawal, at least we'll have an establishment or a good mindset to make sure that we have a solution chap. Isikuwe tena tunakaa sana tunangoja serikali ifanya, lakini mazungumzo yanaendelea, so people are very much informed. And I believe, of course, we'll watch, of course, this episode will be able to shape an engagement as well. Unajua tukilia sana, we might not get a solution.
Absolutely.
But when we converse about it, it comes out handy that we get positive solutions towards elevating this. Yvonne, when you look at all the needs that we desire, all the things that we desire out of this aid, the fact that it's been withdrawn, there are other services that we can at least receive, and other organizations, right? Then what will be the immediate response towards the government involvement, not the US government, of course, the country's government involvement in making sure that despite the fact that we have this withdrawal, but our people, those people that are in need of this support, will not suffer. Speaking about this, there is also a concern about the HIV, which now we were the donations on the protective kits came about. if you look at these situations, how will the government chip in to make sure that we have a positive environment towards making sure that its citizens are perfect and safe?
So far, what also I could say concerning HIV vaccines, currently they're still there. Yeah, so if unajua mtu anasema oh they're not there, currently they're there.
Indeed.
But on the aspect of we need them in bulk. So
we need vaccine?
Yeah. The not vaccines, the ARVs, the medicines,
okay.
The medicines and also the kits and all that.
Indeed.
And most importantly is to ensure that the government has to check on priorities, the key priority areas that in HIV sector it's very important. Because currently we can see that so far HIV and AIDS it's manageable. It's not like where early years we were like, where don't usikae karibu na sijui, the stigma was there, like it was really termed as one of the worst things that a man could have. But so far we can see with this aid, with the funding around HIV and AIDS, people are managing it, even to the point of someone is having undetectable the viral load. But if we are not going, if the government is not going to ensure that it's focusing its energy there, now it means that even the UN aid was giving a report recently that there is high chances that there will be more deaths for persons with living with HIV and AIDS. So it's really important for the government to prioritize this sector, to see that it's very important, it's very crucial for us to focus on that. Also in the areas that are in people who are in vulnerable situations, like you just have to see that this place is in need. Why should I go and channel money in another place that it's already well established? Let us go to the place that is having a lot of need. So I would like just to highlight on that, that the government has to check on the priority areas, not just to work aimlessly. Just the same way Jeff was saying that intentional work, like you're not doing it because you're just doing it, you're doing it intentionally. That you see that these people are in a very tough situation. You are so intentional so that you may help them, not only just unasema acha niamke, acha niende Kibera. Kibera nasikianga kuna hivi na hivi. Unaamua unaenda unasema wacha niende niwapelekee nini? Maybe chakula. Nani amesema wanataka chakula? Have you gone there and seen, maybe checked on secondary data and also probably collected primary data, ukajua kweli hao watu wako na hii shida na hii shida. Kwa hivyo let us address this. Isikuwe ni kama it's a story in Kwale or in there that where people were having a problem of water. It's a story, not
reality.
Yeah, reality. Ambapo sasa unapata hawa watu wako na shida ya maji. Alafu sasa wewe mtu fulani akakuja akachimba boreholes za maji karibu tu na, yani tuseme tu hapa tu nje. Akachimba boreholes mingi, alafu sasa akasema nimefanya kazi ile nilikuanga nimepewa na Mungu nifanye. Akakuwa akifuatilia within a month people are not using the water. Alafu akaanza kuuliza shida ni gani? Akauliza wenyeji wakasema haukutuuliza tunataka maji, tunataka nini? Mifereji ikaribika, kila kitu ikakuwa iko pale, everything was stalled because you never asked what do they want. And you are just going to do development in just, you have to have a strategy. Yeah.
And speaking about strategy, do you think sasa watu wanafaa wachore historia sex?
Yeah.
You know, engagement. Juu unajua hakuna usaidizi wa this, you know, zikiwa kichache, it means that we need to be very careful.
Definitely. But also I would like to shed light on I would like to shed light so that people they may know that if you have the position to, because
to evade, to run,
to evade, you just evade it. You see, because when we check on earlier days where HIV was not that prone, and it was termed to be only in the cities. Our parents, they were just okay
Indeed.
back at home. But also, it's very good to ensure that you have having protective measures. I don't know why it's okay. You have protective measures because if you go and buy it, I think CD it's around 50 to 100. Why should you risk your?
Oh, is it free?
Kuna zenye ziko free za government, but yeah, sure they are free za government. But so far kuna some hospitals zenye hazina, you know, with the decline in all that, trying to strategize in terms of where funding is channeled and all that. So bado iko less. So it's really important. This is a call up to everyone, every youth, not to just to kuangalia mtu hivi unampima na macho. Because currently I've just talked about the viral load. The viral load ikiwa chini, even when they do the test and everything, the report comes, it usually say that the viral load is low, it cannot be transmitted. Kwa hivyo tuseme kama mimi naweza kuwa niko nayo na ma viral load yangu it's so low and I'm so healthy. But also it highlights that it doesn't mean the person is negative. So you have to ensure also you are keen, so that you may not look at someone, this person is so healthy, looking good, looking beautiful, then you are like, you don't take preventive measures. So that one is very key.
Thank you for the empowerment.
Yeah.
And in the same light, now we want to get to the organizations. So that means there's a friend who's not a Bokambio, but we'll not measure to that as well. So now, let's shift gears to organizations now.
Yes.
The organizations that are coming in handy to really embrace help and make sure that some of the needy areas get support as well. You mentioned something about your organization. So this is the point where we now administer that. Yes. How so? As you also give us the understanding on how organizations will come in, chip in, to make sure there is a collaboration between maybe the government or these services, other broad organizations, to make sure that local organizations also get a touch of aid.
Absolutely, yes. So kidole kimoja kivunji chao.
Indeed.
Primarily. And I really support what Yvonne has mentioned.
About what?
No, she's a powerhouse in SRHR.
Indeed, SRHR, you're right.
So now let's talk about organizations. A lot of the work, the donkey work, is usually done by organizations. When we look at government, it's usually collecting taxes and just distributing them, reallocating resources to where they need be. But when we look at organizations, either governmental or non-governmental organizations, they are primarily the driving force in all this work that is being done. Either when we talk about accountability, resource mobilization in communities, and working with the communities hand in hand, and making them feel part and parcel of whatever thing that they do, is really working round the clock, just trying to make things align. So I'll just want to mention one key organization that I work with, where I'm the development director, that is Books and Trunks.
Amazing.
So Books and Trunks primarily on the education.
With very few ones, so we give,
Yes, and when I mention this, I'll also mention how sustainable and how it works, its development model works. So Books and Trunks primarily directed by David Waithaka, who's a powerhouse in youth empowerment and a lot of things in policy and education and all those things around. And also Shikuku, who also does equally the same. Books and Trunks. When we talk about education in rural areas, it's usually under an institution.
Indeed.
Whereby either the book resource is very low, the teachers aren't adequate, or anything that is around the institution is not really conducive for a learning environment. Now, books comes in this way. We will really want and that's what we're striving towards.
Mm-hmm.
Building a trunk, placing books inside the trunk, depending on the level of education within an institution. So when we're talking about a primary school, all grades are looked and focused upon.
Indeed.
And we ship the books to those regions.
Amazing.
Now, how we work on is that the socioeconomic factor, whereby the trunk, we are not going to take care of the trunk. The local community will have to come in and try to build up something upon it. Now, we also facilitate that. Now, whereby when we look at building up a circle where women will come together, engage in a productive, very legal thing, be it in agriculture, be it in agrobusiness, be it in culture. Let's talk about also culture. So whatever resource that they have, they'll be able to monetize it, and whatever funds they get, they'll be able to sustain the trunk.
All right.
And if surplus, they'll be able also to sustain themselves.
Okay.
So doing that around the country, that is our broader goal, and also outside the country. And we have so many amazing partners, and some of the people that we've also initiated and worked with.
All right.
So far.
Okay.
Alliance Francais being one of them.
Amazing.
Who we've also worked with, initiating. Also Kangemi Resource Center being one of them. And that's the kind of sustainability we want to achieve.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, because of course of time, just share your social media platforms. Then we invite Yvonne to also mention some few things about her organization, and thereafter you'll share with us your social media as well. Then we'll call it an end.
Yeah, absolutely. So kwenye mtandaoni Kiplimo Jeff, Instagram Jeff K_Lamba, LAMBER. Number, niseme number?
Yeah, sure.
Kwa nao wananitafuta kwenye simu 0797-823-163 is my telephone number.
Indeed.
Yeah,
so even he mentioned about the powerhouse on SRHR, which is very important, and I believe one day we'll also invite that conversation as well, because many people do not understand the alignment on sexual reproductive health, and we'll need to embrace that as well. So tunaongelea young mothers, and so many things are coming with it. You know, people are dropping out of school because teenage pregnancy and so on and so forth. Give us now your view on your organization in I think 3 minutes.
Okay. So I'll talk about 2 organizations.
All right.
First, I'll start with giving light to society.
All right.
So giving light starts from the concept of light, Jesus Christ.
Amazing.
So now we are young people who are going out there to shed the light. And we're using that in terms of our professions and also our passion that we're having, going to support the communities that we're having. And we're focusing on environmental conservation. So we have tree planting, waste management, and most importantly, because we have the knowledge, policy advocacy, going out there in those boardrooms and also in those program management, making decision tables to ensure that the voices of the youth, hizo bunge la wananchi venye umesema, venye wananchi wanasema, that is what we usually take up there. And tree planting. Yesterday, no, not yesterday, on Saturday we were in Makueni. We did some tree planting.
Congrats.
In Iani boys and also in Iani girls.
Amazing.
And the second program is Kairetu. Kairetu starts from Kairetu in Kikuyu, ni msichana. Keletu from Kamba ni msichana. So we took that name to represent a girl, a beautiful girl. Everyone, every girl and woman is beautiful, to ensure that we are spreading that issue on SRHR, sexual reproductive health education, because it's really important for us to address that, and also menstrual health and matters regarding skills, development and empowerment. The people out there, they know the skills. These are the skills that can support you to ensure that you're getting something on your table. Not always you're always asking for something, lending your hand, all that. So that's what we deal with. And ubongo wetu, it starts from ubongo, mind.
Indeed.
So our mind in terms of us youths, men and girls and ladies.
Indeed.
So we provide a safe space for us to talk and engage in discussions.
Right.
We have mental health hangout. We are having every August, we usually have a mental health hangout.
Amazing.
So we are having one on 30th.
Indeed.
I welcome every one of you. And we have webinars. Every month we have 2 webinars for
Amazing.
mental health. And we do a lot on suicide prevention.
Indeed.
So September is suicide prevention month. So
We invite you.
all right, thank you. So yeah, and finally, skills development
Indeed.
and economic empowerment.
Amazing.
So that one we about mambo na digital skills, baking, beadwork,
Indeed.
and the target group is teenage mothers,
Amazing.
mothers, youths, men. It's like everyone.
All right.
Everyone.
So
in
how
the
can we reach out?
society. And how we do it is for us to have sustainability. We approach these organizations and also business people,
Indeed.
philanthropists, because we understand that there are people out there who want to support,
Right.
and they don't know who they should support. So we place ourselves out there. When you go to Instagram, Twitter, and also I think LinkedIn, yeah. When you search our handles are giving light to society, all handles.
Amazing.
And I think for Instagram it's not I think for Instagram is giving light underscore giving underscore light. There is
Amazing.
no G at the giving.
All right.
So you'll find us there. When you come to Kibera, around when you are light at Makina, there is our office there near Makina Mosque, the
Amazing.
first mosque after 2 Kibera locals.
Indeed.
Or just there.
All right.
Then in Kasarani pia, Kifika Santon, you will find us there.
Indeed.
And for me, I'm a suicide prevention advocate, a mental health advocate. I really love engaging the youth.
Indeed.
As I'm a youth, just giving out their hope, because I know that when we come together, when you encourage someone, there is something that you can place in someone's
Indeed.
life, and we're going to make it.
All right.
Search me at Muko Yvonne, every social media handle.
Indeed. We will search you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Muko Yvonne. Thank you so much, Jeff Kiplimo, for your lovely insight towards elevating the country to the better levels, right? And we believe that there is sustainability. That is the key line we pick this moment, right?
Yeah.
Asanteni sana. We'll keep engaging towards making sure that we have advancement in conversations that we are having. Asanteni sana. Tena, when you go back to your organizations, please tell them that Look Up Television, courtesy Bunge La Wenyeji, has really regarded your presence. Now, of course, even as we embrace the conversations, kumbuka kwamba maongezi haya, mazungumzo haya yataendelea moja kwa moja kwenye taswira halisi ya masuala ambayo yanachipuka hapa nchini Kenya. Tupatane wiki ijayo tukiangazia masuala mengine yanayokufaa wewe mwenyeji. Kumbuka kila wakati ni wakati wa kusonga mbele, na maana yake tunaendelea kusonga mbele. Hivyo basi tunahitaji taifa taifa ambalo ni dhabiti na ya msingi ya kuwasogesha wananchi mbele. Jina langu ni Moses Sketch, mwelekezi wangu Sera. Asante sana, na vile vile pia upiga picha. Asante sana kwa kazi safi. Tupatane wiki ijayo.